Ram fans, and happy homecoming week. I'm Brian Buck.
And I am Jessica Mendoza. The conference play continued for CSU this weekend, and we got all the highlights, so let's get started. The CSU football traveled to San Jose State to take on the 0-4 Trojans on Saturday, a team who has lost 15 of their last 16 games. Although San Jose State has been winless, the week prior they had taken Hawaii into 5 overtimes, where they lost only by a field goal. The Rams' first half in San Jose was promising. CSU took their first double-digit lead of the entire season. KJ Carter-Samuels connected with Preston Williams for 2 touchdowns, the first being after 5 minutes of the first quarter. The second quarter, on the other hand, was one for Warren Jackson. The wide receiver helped his team crawl up to 28 points and left the Rams going into the locker room at halftime feeling good. The start of the second half, Carter-Samuels, who threw 4 touchdown passes, was sidelined, and in came redshirt sophomore Colin Hill. He was given 2 quick chances to meet Bobo's expectations. Hill's offense was a complete night and day difference as they went 3 and out in the first 2 series of the half. But for the Trojans' offense, it was all a flip of a switch. Quarterback Josh Love and Trey Hartley found some chemistry, scoring 2 touchdowns. First, a 24-yard pass completion, and not long after, Hartley connects with Love again for a 51-yard touchdown pass. With the help of their defense and the Trojans' first safety since their 2012 Military Bowl victory, SJSU went on to score 30 unanswered points in the third quarter alone. That's right, 30. Carter-Samuels' offense then takes 11 plays to get down the field, but its worth is proven when Izzy Matthews runs into the Rams' 5th touchdown. A pick 6 from freshman cornerback Rashad Ajayi and late interception from safety Jordan Fogle brings CSU back to life and would keep the Trojans' offense success to only the third quarter. Not allowing any more points for San Jose in the fourth would seal CSU's second win of the season.
A little bit about last game against San Jose.
On Saturday, Izzy Matthews became the 3rd running back in CSU history to have a 100-yard rushing game in 4 different seasons. Coach Bobo is not the type to declare all is fixed after one victory, and he spoke to exactly that.
A little bit about last game against San Jose. I think it was great to go on a road and get a win in the conference, our first conference win, and it was on the road. Kind of like I mentioned after the game, I thought we played extremely hard. After looking at the film, I thought we dominated the lines of scrimmage, especially our defensive line. Played outstanding first, second, and fourth quarters. The third quarter was probably the worst quarter of football, maybe in the history of college football. It was pretty bad. 6 possessions, I believe, offensively. 4 3 and outs, a 1-play pick, and was it a 1-play safety, maybe 2? 14 plays, 20 yards. And credit our defense. Obviously we gave up some points right there, 4 touchdowns, but it could have been 6 touchdowns or even more points. They had a stop there one time when they got in the red zone. I thought we played really good red zone defense for the whole night. We were obviously good in the red zone offensively, going 5 for 5 in the red zone, which was good. Come away with a win. The great thing about it is I don't think we're going to think we're, that great of a football team. We got a lot of stuff that we can point out, and a lot of stuff we got to fix as coaches, and a lot of stuff our players got to fix as players. But excited about this week facing New Mexico. Have faced, this will be the 4th year playing New Mexico under Coach Davey.
The Rams are now 1-1 in Mountain West play, and with homecoming weekend coming up, they are working to get a winning streak going against New Mexico. A quarterback battle still looms, and consistency at every position is still a question. But with a win on their heels and homecoming ahead, this Rams football team has a chance to put together a few victories in a row.
After the Rams volleyball team lost 2 Mountain West matches in a row for the first time in over a decade, their performance against Air Force at home was a complete 180. CSU swept Air Force on Friday, winning each of the 3 sets by at least 7 points. The Rams' greatest weapon against the Falcons was easily their passing, as the team didn't give up 1 point on passing error. Katie Oleksak stepped up big time with 11 digs and Olivia Nicholson with 8. CSU blockers also helped out their defense, putting up 11 stuffs. CSU hitters only allowed Air Force to block them 4 times respectively. Brianna Runnels led both teams with 16 kills, double the number of Air Force's leader, Abigail Miksh, who put down 8 kills for her team. While it wasn't mentioned, Hilbert had to have been happy to see his team serve up 7 aces while not allowing Air Force to tally on any aces for themselves. CSU is now 49-1 against Air Force and are looking to continue on their 48-game win streak against the Falcons when they face them again November 1st. Well, Bryan, it was really good to see the volleyball come out after those 2 losses. Knowing how mental of a game that volleyball is, it was really cool to see them come out on the court as a team. It looked like they had not, if you were watching them and not known the last 2 scores of those last 2 games, you would have never known that they lost those.
Yeah, they looked really good. They looked consistent and they looked clean. When you look at how they played against Wyoming, a really defensive team, they kind of struggled to put up points and hit successfully. They came out with the fighter's mentality of just, we're going to keep going, we're going to keep working, and they were successful in that against Air Force. Like you mentioned, they played really good passing defense. They were really successful on that. That's something that CSU has struggled with over the past couple of years, and I think that's a great sign going forward for this team that's young but really has a lot of talent and can be really successful.
Absolutely, they do have a lot of talent, and like you said, they are a very young team, so it's really cool to see. Especially Katie Oleksak, like I said, she's really been stepping up, and for them to have a perfect passing game, she's got to be there running around, hustling on the court to get those second touches. So yeah. I was really impressed with her performance in the last couple of games.
She's also done a great job getting some of those first touches when they target her.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Olivia Nicholson has stepped up and getting some of those assists, which we don't see very often from this Rams team.
Absolutely.
After finishing last weekend with their first conference victory of the season, the soccer team kept up the pace, hosting Conference Row Air Force. After starting Mountain West play with 2 losses and a tie, the Rams walked off the pitch Friday with a 2-match winning streak and 2 consecutive shutouts. The Rams followed the recipe for success they had established against Utah State, taking control of the match by being the aggressor. CSU outfouled Air Force 12-9, including 2 yellow cards, and outshot the Falcons 11-7. The physicality paid off for the Rams in the 65th minute when Taylor Steinke found the back of the net with an assist from Kaija Orens. It was Steinke's second goal in as many matches, and both of which were goals that permanently gave the Rams the lead. The Rams defense took over, and from there only allowed 2 more shots from Air Force before the match ended with the Rams on top 1-0.
The Rams had seemed to put an end to the scoring drought after their previous 2 wins, but their game on Sunday had shown signs of more struggles to execute on offense once again. The girls were at home for their matchup against Colorado College, a team that was 3-2-1 in their Mountain West play so far this season. There wasn't a shot on goal by the Tigers until the 59th minute of the game, although a goal was in reach when Colorado College forward Lucia Costanza took a high shot, only for the ball to be deflected by the crossbar. The Tigers seemed to be consistently aiming high as the crossbar saved them 2 more times during the match. Goalie Hunter Pfeiffer also contributed 5 saves for the Rams. CSU had 7 shots on goal, but goalkeeper for Colorado College, Jade Odom, didn't allow any to meet the net either. This would be her 6th game this season, allowing no goals. After 110 minutes of play yesterday, both teams still remained scoreless, resulting in CSU's 5th tie of the season. Head coach Bill Hempen gave his praise to Pfeiffer and believes his team is very close to getting that clear shot, but was happy with his team's performance overall. After the game, CTV soccer reporter Kyle Witter was able to speak with goalie Hunter Pfeiffer.
Hi, I'm Kyle Witter with CTV Sports. I'm joined here by Hunter Pfeiffer, the goalie for the CSU Rams soccer team. Hunter, today's game was, in a word, very cold. How do you think that affected yours and the others' game today?
It's something that we definitely have to take into account. Luckily, we have a lot of Colorado girls on the team, and so this is beautiful fall soccer weather for all of us. And, we just have to focus up a little more, and all of our touches need to be a little bit tighter, but it makes it fun.
So we saw a lot of good blocking from you today. There was definitely a lot of shots on goal, and you did a really good job blocking those. One particular block that I want to talk about is the penalty kick. Can you walk us through what was going through your mind during that kick?
Well, we have some lovely coaches that kind of help us out with that, and they watch a lot of film, and so they kind of give me an idea of, hey, if there's a PK in the game, this player takes, this shot, and so I have to always keep that in mind, and I like PKs. I just have to kind of send it, and I just have to do my job, block the shots, and so that's when I just have to do it.
All right, and finally, you guys are traveling to San Jose to play against the Spartans this weekend. What can we look forward to in that game?
I think that we just need to bring out a lot of energy right now. The playoffs are on the line, and if we're making it to the conference tournament, and that's the goal for CSU this year, and we're really, really excited about this year. So we need to bring the energy that we've had in the home games to away games, and we're super excited.
All right, thanks for joining me, Hunter.
Thank you.
For CTV Sports, I'm Kyle Witter.
This weekend made history for the soccer team as it is the first time they were able to keep 2 conference opponents from scoring in the same weekend.
All right, Rams, that is all we have for you right now, but stay tuned for Castro's Cut coming up next.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
Welcome back, Ram fans, and welcome to Castro's Cut. I am Litos Castro, here to give you the update of what's to come up in CSU sports this week. So without further ado, let's get rolling right into it. First, we're going to start off taking a look at this beautiful stadium we have here. It's such a beautiful, amazing canvas stadium. But for the sports this week, we have men's golf and swim dive we're going to start off with. Men's golf, they are headed to Parker, Colorado. They started today on Monday, and they're going to tomorrow for the Paintbrush Invitational multiple-day event. They finish up tomorrow. We'll keep you posted on that one. And then swim and dive, on Friday, they head over to Denver to take on DU. And then moving on to your cross-country team, on Friday, they are headed to Hays, Kansas to compete in the FHSU Tiger Open. They are starting bright and early at 8 in the morning. What a great time to be running right in the morning for you. Next, we're going to move on to your volleyball team. They're going to have 2 matchups this week. On Thursday, they're going to be taking on Boise State in Moby Arena. That matchup's going to begin at 7 in the evening. Then on Saturday, they're going to be hosting Utah State for the homecoming weekend. That matchup also begins at 7 in the evening for you. Next, we're going to take a look at your football team. They are back home from California for homecoming weekend. So bring your friends, bring your family. It's going to be a fun time. They're going to be facing New Mexico at Canvas Stadium right here on Saturday. That game is going to be at 2 in the afternoon for you. It's going to be a fun one. Next, we're going to skate over into the hockey rink. The hockey team is going to have another 3-day series this week. First, on Thursday at 8:30 in the evening, they're going to be facing Arizona State. And then they're going to start a 2-day series against the University of Arizona on Friday and Saturday. Those games are going to be at 8 in the evening and 7:45 in the evening for you. And then finally, we're going to finish up with your soccer team. They had a big week this past weekend. Now they're going to start another 2-day series. They're heading over to California. On Friday, they're going to head to take on San Jose State in place of the football team, see if they can acquire another win there. That is going to be at 7:30 in the evening. Then on Sunday, they're staying in California to face Fresno State. That matchup's going to be at 1 in the afternoon for you. We'll keep you posted on those. But while we're on the subject of soccer, let's take a look at your play of the week coming from goalkeeper Hunter Pfeiffer. A beautiful PK save to keep the Rams in the game and hold the shutout and maintain the 0-0 game, giving the Rams hope in that game while still maintained a tie. It's a beautiful save, and you got to give her credit for that. Well, that's all we have for Castro's Cut, but don't go anywhere because when we return, the Triple J Pick'em Challenge is going to be back, and you do not want to miss it. Don't go anywhere, Rams.
Well, Thomas, you've got prediabetes, but with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have prediabetes. Big time.
Listen, I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you judge me for having a problem. No one is going to know that I need help. I need help. I know that no one is going to judge me for having a problem. I realized that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you listened.
Hello, Ram fans, and welcome back. I am now joined by Tuesday Sports anchor Jason Ortiz and Thursday Sports anchor Jared Stratton to do this week's Triple J Pickup Challenge. So I am 13 for 20, and Jared and Jason are both 14 for 20 in overall picks, so it's a real close one. For our first pick of the week, we have the College Game Day Big Ten rivalry with number 15 Wisconsin going to the Big House to take on number 12 Michigan. So what do you guys pick?
This one I chose Michigan. You know, they lost their first game, but they've been on fire from there. They have their last 5 games, they won by 137 combined points. Like, that's an offense that cannot be stopped. In Wisconsin, they did lose against BYU, which is an unranked team. So it's going to be, I think it's going to be a blowout for Michigan.
How about you?
Yeah, I mean, Shea Patterson, he's probably one of the best quarterbacks in the country. However, Jonathan Taylor is the running back for Wisconsin. So on that note, taking Wisconsin in this one.
Well, I picked Michigan because of their high-powered offense. Also, they're averaging 38.2 points a game. And also, I got to pick Michigan just because my boss, she's a Michigan fan, so got to look out for her as well.
Yep. Next we have the Washington versus Oregon game. Now, Washington is 5-1 this season. Oregon is 4-1. And for this game, I chose Oregon. Washington is actually going to be the favorite coming into this game. Oregon, they have been pretty good this year. I think Stanford was a fluke. Last week, 2 players had over 100 rushing yards each. That's a huge stat, and they still have a guy in Heisman watch and Justin Herbert. That's a big thing for Oregon there, so that's why I'm picking Oregon.
Me and Jared on the same level for once. I also picked Oregon. Same reasons, Justin Herbert and CJ Verdell. I feel like they're unstoppable. Yep. They're a good duo. So.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but have you guys ever seen Jake Browning play? Because Jake Browning's probably one of the best quarterbacks in this country.
Yeah, except for Justin Herbert. But.
I mean, he's Jake Browning, though. Come on.
Heisman watch is a little different.
I mean, Oregon had 12 straight wins until, 2016? And then Jake Browning came along. Now what's going on?
I think you just picked
with my pick, I'm going with Washington because
just like
Jake Browning. Come on.
All right.
Moving on. Now we have number 2 Georgia taking on LSU. So going into this game, I think the only thing LSU has going for them in this game is that the game is in Death Valley. You have Jake Fromm and DeAndre Swift running that offense for Georgia, so I don't see Georgia losing this game.
I have to agree with you. I picked Georgia here as well. Last time these two teams faced off was in 2013, and Georgia did win. Overall, they're just having a really good season, so I can't see LSU beating them here.
Yeah, as much as I hate to admit it, I agree with both of you on that one. LSU let me down last week against Florida, and now I have a small little grudge against them. But Georgia, they are ranked number 2 for a reason. They're one of the best in the country, and you can't really pick against them.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to continue, and we have number 19 ranked CU, who Jared hates, taking on USC. So let's go ahead and start with you, Jared. Who are you going to pick here?
Well, that was a good intro. Thank you. Last week you said 2 words, right? Laviska Shenault. And, of course, it's 3 words because he's a junior, Laviska Shenault Jr. But beyond that, he had 4 touchdowns. That's not funny, but he had 4 touchdowns last week, and I understand that. But 2 of those were in short yard situations. So I was kind of buffing the stats. Now I'm going to come back at you guys with another 2-word answer right here. We have a Cedric Ware. He had 173 yards. So that's big potential. Now, all that was on the ground. None of that was receiving or just on the ground, and also tallied by 2 touchdowns. So I think that big play ability is going to bring USC the underdog win.
I mean, I'm going to have to disagree with you because CU's not only got Laviska Shenault Jr., however, they have Trevon McMillan and Steven Montez, who both have been lighting it up this year. So, I mean, even though we are CSU Rams, I'm taking CU in this game.
Yeah, I'm on Jason's side again. We're here against Jared, who hates CU. I hate CU, but I can't like really go against Laviska Shenault Jr. He did 2 of those were in short yardage, but he did have a big role in getting his team down the field in those plays. So you can't ignore that, Jared. And so I'm definitely hoping to see. Well, If I could say I hope, I would say I would hope CU's going to lose, but I think they're going to win. I think they're going to win.
Well, they are going to lose. You don't have to hope. So, and finally, we have your CSU Rams taking on the New Mexico Lobos for this weekend. It's actually the homecoming game. And right now, this game, I'm going to choose CSU. You know, they're coming to the homecoming game for their home crowd. They really want to win this game, you know, like put on a show. And KJ threw for 4 touchdowns last week. It kind of got overshadowed a little bit with San Jose scoring 30 points in one quarter, which is a little crazy. But 4 touchdowns in a game, that's still really good. And their running game actually came together against San Jose, so that's going to be one of the big defining factors for CSU, and I'm choosing CSU to win.
Yeah, I mean, it was a big win against San Jose State, don't get me wrong, but UNM's a different animal. Their offense is a very high-powered offense. So if you want to see CSU win this week, you're going to have to see the defense step up, and I don't see that happening, so taking UNM in this game, honestly.
Well, I took CSU here. We did see CSU's defense step up in their last game in the 4th quarter. I know you're saying they're a different animal, and I agree, and I'm kind of surprised that the program didn't schedule an easier game for our homecoming game. But I picked CSU because it's homecoming week. We're going to have a really nice atmosphere, and I hope that this win really helps the team kind of move on and get that dub for this week for homecoming.
Yeah, they're going to have to not let UNM put up 50 points like they did at UNLV last week.
Well, they held San Jose to 0 points for 3 quarters.
But then did you watch the 3rd quarter?
Didn't need to.
I mean,
they still won.
Let's forget about the 3rd quarter.
All right, yeah.
All right, well, we will see how this weekend's games go. Stay tuned because when we return, Bryan and I will be updating you on the CSU golf and hockey team.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to...
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
The women's golf team put together a wire-to-wire victory this weekend in the 3-day Ron Moore Intercollegiate hosted by the University of Denver in Highlands Ranch, Colorado. The Rams, who shot every team round under par, finished at 4 under overall and 11 strokes ahead of runner-up Ole Miss. Top Ram Ellen Sikora was also the top overall golfer in the field with a score of 3 under par, and next top Ram, Katrina Pendergast, tied for 2nd place with a score of 2 under par. The finish was the first tournament win of the year for the Rams, who will have this week off before their final tournament of the fall 2 weeks from now in Las Vegas.
Men's golf teed off in some tough weather this morning at the Colorado Golf Club for the Paintbrush Invitational, an event that was canceled last year due to snow. Denver is hosting golfers from Oregon, South Dakota, Pacific, Washington State, and Wyoming, and other in-state competitors. Oscar Teifel finished the morning round 2 under 70, bringing the team to 1 under par overall. The Invitational will wrap up tomorrow, and the weather is not looking to improve very much.
The Rams hockey team had a 3-game homestand this weekend against border foes Oklahoma and Central Oklahoma. Game 1 was Thursday evening against the Sooners and didn't go as planned for the Rams. The first period started hot with a goal on each side, the Rams scoring off the stick of Kyle Riley with 8 minutes left. The second period was well fought as well, the Rams getting 13 shot attempts off, but none found the net, and the Sooners found themselves up 2-1 entering the final period of play. A power play early for Oklahoma led to 2 Sooner goals and a huge lead of 4-1. Late in the final period, the Rams went to an empty net to push for a comeback and ended up surrendering a 5th and final goal to Cameron Brown of the Sooners. Brown's empty net goal finished off his hat trick on the evening and put the Rams away for good.
Friday night went better for the Rams as they hosted the Central Oklahoma Broncos. The first period had no goals and just 3 penalties for the Rams. Going into the second period was when the scoring kicked off. Both teams scored inside of the first 2 minutes. The Rams' goal coming from Ben Joseph. As the period continued, the Rams found themselves in a power play, 11 minutes in, and capitalized with a second goal from Kyle Riley. But the Broncos would not be silenced and responded just over a minute later to tie it up 2-2, a score that would stay until the later part of the third period. 12 minutes into the final period, senior defenseman Bryan Ciceria found the back of the net and put the Rams up with the lead of 3-2 over the Broncos.
The final game of the weekend went back Central Oklahoma's way as they outshot the Rams 40-19 in Game 3 and jumped ahead and held on, finishing with a score of Broncos 6, Rams 2. The Ram hockey squad is now 3-3 on the season and will lace up their skates this week at home against Arizona State and Arizona. The Ram tennis team hosted the John Messick Invitational Friday and Saturday, winning 23 of 20 sets played in a tournament that included Wyoming and Northern Colorado. Sophomore Emma Corwin was named top individual, winning 7 sets in the tournament. The Rams won all 6 contests they played on Saturday, and following the end of the tournament, head coach Jared Cameretta said, "We got better this weekend. If we keep progressing and stay healthy, we can be a special team." The tournament was the last competition until March for the tennis team. Well, Jessica, this week is homecoming for CSU.
Yeah, it's going to be a great week. A lot of people's families coming into town, so traffic's probably going to be pretty bad.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited for the football game, as I said earlier in the Triple J Pick'em Challenge. I think that the environment's going to be really great for the team and for students, and I hope it's a really good game.
I do too. I think it will be. Like you said, the traffic is going to be rough. There's also a volleyball game at 7 p.m. They play Utah State, but I'm looking forward to the football game especially. This Rams team didn't really start the season the way a lot of people hoped or expected, and after that win against San Jose, we saw especially the defense do a lot of really good things like that pick 6 you mentioned from Rashad Ajayi. I think the defense has stepped up. I think the offense can kind of roll with that, and I think that last win gives them momentum they just didn't really have. They beat Arkansas, but then they had to travel to Florida. That was tough. Now they got homecoming. They just came off a win. This is kind of the right period of time for them to get some momentum going, and with all the fans and the traffic, that might give them the energy they need to get rolling this season.
Absolutely, and I would say the same for the volleyball team. Like you said, they're playing this weekend as well for homecoming. They're coming off a really great win, so I hope that that will kind of progress into their next game as well. And with all the events going on, I know that there's Light the A, and there's a big bonfire, and then there's a 5K on Sunday after the game. So
there is,
it's going to be a really great week.
There's a lot of stuff going on. We do homecoming pretty well.
We do homecoming well.
In Fort Collins. It's a fun time. Well, Ram fans, that is all we have for you this week in CSU Sports. Have a great and safe homecoming week. I'm Bryan Buck.
And I'm Jessica Mendoza. Be sure to follow our Twitter page throughout the week to stay updated on all the CSU sports. Have a great night, Rams.